Hi. I guess I'll go first. Well, my name is a little bit not appropriate to be spoken, but you can call me the Fertile God, or you can call me Leon.
And you all know me from the past podcast. I am Gumball. Welcome to today's. What are we doing today? Tournament games.
Let's go.
Yes. It has been a while, pretty much 6 months by now, but I am very excited to be back and having more games that are definitely not gonna have any issues whatsoever.
Gotta love it.
We just don't worry about it. We don't say anything about that.
And I'm learning something new. This is gonna be my first time shoutcasting with you guys. Forecasting with you, and it definitely looks like it's gonna be a cluster kerfuffle.
It is.
Ooh. Were they? All right.
Dark On Jah. Can you believe it? After everything that happened to On Jah during the last tournament, now we just have another one.
So there's already a bit of a fight in the background. I already see it. It's Romeo and Juliet. Let's go, Capulets. Oh, okay. I see how it is. Oh yeah, definitely. After the changes they did to Stridebreaker, like, he has just been insane across the board, whether you take him top or jungle. Yeah, I feel you. But now let's talk about that Renekton, though. Definitely.
Wait, really? This is where we checked it? I put...
Can I help
Leon,
you?
can you say something? Oh, we can't
sorry,
hear
I didn't know
Picken.
you wanted to talk to me. Oh, we can't hear the main man himself. Okay.
Click on the gear, Picken.
Well,
Gear,
no
gear.
worries. A little bit of
The other one,
technical
the other one.
difficulties.
That one.
They told me this would happen, but don't worry,
Okay.
I'll carry y'all for now. They are right
I
now
told you
dealing with
that it
audio
wasn't
properties. You
gonna
gotta
dance.
love it. So, well, from what I can see, because they're blocking off half the screen, you definitely got, like I said, you got the Nocturne having issues there, and then you got the Renekton on the other side. We don't think Renekton's
Oh.
going to be going top lane against the Nocturne.
Give me a
Nocturne's going to
second,
run
Picken.
from that. He can't really do it. But I definitely
Properties?
do see, if you look at the second pick, that
Properties,
Gnar against the Renekton, that is an amazing play right there. Now, you look it back on the other side of the board, and the next pick was a Leona. Again, mega strong play.
Am I
have been
here?
playing it myself. Oh, you're okay. Cool.
No, I'm asking, am I?
That's a good question.
I want to
Apparently Pickens fan is here.
know. Can you hear me? I'm just gonna turn on the cast.
Oh yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. You should lower your volume a bit.
Yeah, that's tragic. All right. We're just gonna go.
You have to lower yourself and raise Leon a bit.
All right. How about here? This looks good. I'm currently trying to check the audio while listening to the audio. So, like, if you guys could talk or something while I'm talking, and I can try to
I think you're a
balance
bit
it.
low now, but you're getting close to it.
You know, I'm gonna
Okay.
be super loud anyway, so that's fine. We all know I.
You know,
That is absolutely
you all
correct.
gotta love humble home streams that try their best to be professional, and when everything hits the fan, that's when you see the true quality of these streams. We are the meme in making.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is professional. We are on top of it. No technical difficulties here.
We've never
Sure,
had
sure.
technical difficulties in this
Don't look
stream.
behind the curtains, y'all. There's no fires there.
There is
But
no
let's talk
wizard
about the
behind the curtain.
Nautilus.
Oh, the Nautilus pick. The war criminal himself, deemed by Zugs. That pick is always just annoying for ADCs. You can't walk close to him.
Definitely.
It's really good engage combined with the Nocturne and the Gnar. They have a very nice wombo combo of either Gnar or Nautilus going in, getting them CC'd, and then Nocturne finishing the job.
Okay, and before we talk about Lilia, because I see you there, sister, you're looking good over there as a fawn, let's talk about that Nautilus Callista. Now that is going to be a crazy bot lane.
Oh yeah, because, you know, Nautilus doesn't even need to hook at this point to get in range. Callista just yeets him on over, and, you know, he starts with his passive, which he can then chain into his hook, which means he might even be able to get a second passive route on the same character if he spaces it out correctly.
I honestly feel that even an Anathemas with the Leona is not enough CC to stop that full combo between Callista Ultimate and Nautilus built-in CC.
Yeah, that bot lane's definitely going to have to respect the pick that they made there, because that is going to be full engage. Any mistakes there is going to be taken advantage of.
Definitely, definitely. But now let's go back to that Lilia. Lilia, oh man, the fastest mover on the Rift. Talk about gotta go fast.
Oh yeah, she's all over the place. Farming jungle are in right now, and she is great at that. When you get blue buff, you don't have to worry about mana cost, which is one of her main issues in lane. So she's really a good jungler here. Now, as we start to finish out these comps, I do have a kind of an issue with Dark On Jah, and maybe you can clear this up for me, but I'm not seeing a, like... I guess they're going for team fight here. With the Lilia and Leona setup, and then the Renekton and Ashe going in with the LeBlanc kind of picking up sides. I really like Gilded Piper's full-on dive, like, commitment here, though.
Oh yeah, no, they as a term used in my personal Discord, my family Discord, they're going full Giga Unga. They are gonna go deep in there, and they're not gonna stop until everyone is gone. And if that doesn't work, well then pray for your souls.
Yeah, the only issue I do see with that is that hard engaging that into a Lily just makes you very susceptible to her ult, on her damage. You know, she can just Q you, ult you, just kite you out for days. It's not an easy team to engage on once you see that Lilia.
Definitely, definitely. Which I feel a little bad about because I was once a Nautilus main and I have now become a Leona main. So this is really a game that I struggle to pick a winning side for.
Now, so which one do you think had the better draft here? I think there's an obvious pick here, but maybe I'm just blind.
I mean, like, one side chose to ban Yasuo, the man with the 10 death power spike, so we can only say so much.
I mean, that is fair, but I feel like Gilded Piper's comp is just so strong. They know what they want to do. They're going full-on dive. You have the Nautilus being yeeted under tower, followed up by the Nocturne and the Akali, with the Gnar just hopping around, doing mega stuff. Meanwhile, Dark On Jah has a more standard front-to-back team comp, which is fine, but I just think Gilded Pipers here, if they can execute correctly, will be able to get on them, unless Dark On Jah is able to disengage with all their CC, which is possible.
I mean, like, I definitely see the Lilia picking up the kills at the back end of the fight.
Definitely. Well, with that, I am going to hope OBS will let me do things, and I'm going to switch us over to the game.
Alright, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. You guys go ahead at home, start placing your bets, start making your picks. You know, if you want to put a little money down on the table, we can't tell you no. All I'm saying is that I want my percentage, make sure it comes back to me. And let's try to get this game going. And now we put, you know, the good elevator music, just saying.
Oh
guys,
yeah,
you
as
know,
I
if
just
you're at
mess
home-
around, apparently that is not the right screen. See, I am very new to OBS here, so I think
mean,
this
like,
one's
I
it.
have
This
a
one
couple
says
of
game
songs I could,
capture. This one says game capture. This one I'm very hopeful for. There it is.
Oh, there we go.
So now I just have to. Oh no, I unbound something. Hold on. Items. Display.
Your keybinds don't stay when you open replace with the method we use.
I hate this.
A little bit more
Alright, so
technical
we will-
difficulties, but this time we'll let you see behind the curtain. You know, you get to see our good man over here Pickens himself, you know, starting to get everything, you know, good, ready and rolling.
I'm doing my best here. That's for sure. Alright, casters, I am going to stream the game so you can see it, so you are not 30 seconds behind with the stream. As fun as it is casting after the fight has already taken place 5 hours ago. We're trying to stay current.
like, it's always hilarious to watch when you just see the hype and everyone is already going on with their lives.
Oh, yeah. So, we are going to hit it off in... Oh, I have to open the time. Everyone close your eyes so you can't see what it is. Maybe. And we're off to the races.
Now, I was going to say, I don't know if anybody noticed, but even at 3 seconds, LeBlanc had already bought her corrupted potion. So let's already take a look at that. Like, she was just on the ball with that.
I don't want manual camera. There we go.
Oh man, look at them. Full squads coming in. It looks like, as you see, Red Team, I'm going to be calling them Red Team. I hope you guys don't mind at home. Red Team has definitely decided that they're just going full on team fight in the early game. They definitely have the advantage with the Leona and the Ash arrows pulling in and the LeBlanc with the cleanup. But who knows if they're actually going to catch somebody with a Kali hiding off in the back.
Dark On Jah is looking for this Nautilus who is just vibing in the bush, unaware that his life may be over very quickly.
He's just 2 steps away from Goner. Like, it's going to be beautiful and it's gonna be nasty.
Definitely. I think he is going to do the smart thing. He has a Kali there as well, but I don't think either of them are going to be dumb enough to step up into a brush that they know could potentially house some members of Dark On Jah.
I mean, like, already you had to be suspicious. Akali definitely caught vision of the Renekton running back top, but they are committed to this play. Like, I am waiting in awe. Oh, look at that. No fight.
No fight.
Sad times.
Level 1 invade, nothing happens.
For real. Always sad to watch.
But as we're starting this game here, I really want to highlight that the Akali got some recent nerfs, making her drop, as I'm told, 14% win rate. I'm not sure if that is correct, but that is what my sources tell me. So I'm curious if this Akali can keep to the same standards that Akali has been in the past.
I believe so. I've been playing a good fair match of rank, and I ain't saying I'm the highest elo, but I definitely still see Akali carrying games.
Definitely. Also, the other lane to be watching early here is going to be that bot lane with the Nautilus and the Leona with the very early game Callista. And speaking of, here comes
you see
the
the Nautilus
engage.
get the hook? You already see Callista getting some damage off onto the Ash, but she's able to get away without too much damage taken. Still a good trade for blue team.
Definitely. Ash being slightly above half HP is something you always want to see because that means the next engage could be life-threatening. You see the level 2 here. Nautilus steps up. Ash walks into the hook. This has to be it. And first blood to the Nautilus.
But it was still a clean kill.
You know, that's my bad. I forgot I'm not shoutcasting. You know, my brain took over.
You're as excited as I am. Oh, we do see that the Gnar was able to get the full trade onto the Renekton. Nothing happens though. What a sad time in the top lane. Oh, fresh hook on the Nautilus. Flash out of Leona.
Yeah, like we said earlier during the draft, this bot lane is going to be very hard for Dark On Jah to compete with because Gilded Pipers picked a very early
Renekton
game.
with a double dash is able to get the stun and the triple hit and the Q off of the Gnar, probably steadying the lane back in his favor.
But hear me out. Gnar got his grass proc. That's like 3 HP for him forever.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'll help him scale for those team fights late game.
You always have to wonder, Renekton going in again.
Yeah, come on, buddy. Hit it. He got that Q off at the end. He was also able to get that stun off in there. I don't know if you saw, but the Gnar Q almost got him that third proc for the true damage.
Yeah, with Renekton, you go in, and if you don't finish him off, Gnar's going to be able to kite you back out if you're not careful. So I'm curious to see if the Renekton will overextend. Which
Look at that.
Like
Narco coming in for a gank, and he's already in out position. He's able to get the double dash, but he's not able to get away from the fear. And it looks like Gnar with the hop was able to get out, but they traded flash, and it is the kill on the Renekton. But we see the Lilia was able to counter and kill the Gnar. Now we see Lilia chasing off the Nocturne. She'll probably be able to get it. Is she able to get it before this? Oh, the fear comes out.
Was not able to do enough work.
With the flash at the end, she uses her Q and gets the kill. That is a double for early game Lilia.
You are correct. Nothing can outrun the Lilia once she starts getting those passive procs up, and she just runs the Nocturne down there.
I mean, like, gotta go fast.
You really do. While we have this lull state, I cannot emphasize enough how hard it is to shut up during these fights, man. I'm like almost talking, opening my mouth, like holding my hand to my mouth to stop talking. It is very difficult.
No, man, you gotta appreciate the new guy. He's gonna help you, just relax a little bit. It'll be my voice that goes to hell whenever this is over, but, let's all enjoy the stream, right?
Oh yeah, you're right, big brain. We can
Oh,
swap.
double
so we
dash
both-
onto the Renekton, was able to get the stun off on the Gnar, but the passive able to do more damage and making it a bad trade.
Yeah, Gnar's always hard. You go in, but again, it's a ranged champion, so he can just kite you out and then do a bunch of damage while you're trying to get away.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, dash out of the Renekton, was able to get the stun, and it looks like he's able to get out without getting that third proc out. He was. Good trade out of the Renekton.
Renekton's doing a great job, but Gnar's doing a good job of making up.
LeBlanc going in onto the Akali, doing a ton of damage, decided not to follow up for the kill. Smart play.
Yeah, the Lee syndrome is not here with this Akali, realizing if she goes in there, it's probably not going to look good for her.
Well, I'm glad at least one of us do, because I definitely do have Lee syndrome.
Oh, I definitely have it. It's just when I'm not playing. Ooh, this is
We
not
do see
looking good
Renekton
for the
coming in
Akali.
the gank. The minions are under the turret. Akali is definitely out of place. She does have the Shroud, but with the AoE, they're able to do the damage, and they were just there for the cleanup.
Wonderful tower dive by Dark On Jah there. Perfect execution. Even the Shroud is not safe for Akali. Nocturne is able to pick up first drag though for a trade, making it a 1 death for a drag, which is pretty good trade there because the Gnar had also not pushed out waves, so Renekton won't even lose CS for the realm.
Definitely. I do think the other thing you got to keep in mind is the fact that they were able to get that kill off Akali in the early game. That's going to hold her off pretty badly, especially since she did start Darkseid.
Oh yeah, you gotta start Darkseid on these champions, but if you don't do well early, the item becomes kind of useless. As we're seeing trading up, as we see trading going up there in the top lane, the Gnar is able to keep up. Oh, here it comes!
Oh, look at that. With the flash, LeBlanc was able to get Akali to eat a tower shot. Nothing happened out of it, but we do see LeBlanc is definitely trying to go in with the trade. Double dashes in, but misses her chain, is able to get out.
Yeah, she hit level 6 right there, so she was hoping to get her reusable ability to be able to get the second dash onto Akali and finish her off there. I really like the flash under tower to force the Akali way under, but it just wasn't quite enough for her to be able to secure the kill there.
Oh man, this LeBlanc is not playing any games. Flash out of Akali and nothing ended up happening. Man, this game really just likes playing with you. It doesn't want to show you the fun stuff just yet.
I don't know, you say nothing happens, but flash out of Akali's pretty big, especially since that champion's pretty mobile, but getting the flash out makes it harder for her to do some of her crazy combos that she's known for.
You see, I would usually agree with you, but definitely you gotta consider LeBlanc, man. She definitely has a good amount of mobility, and the fact that she can stun her opponent from so far away is enough.
Oh yeah, Blanc diving under there. Just saying hi to
definitely.
Cup there.
I didn't even want to mention it because I thought LeBlanc was gonna get out, but that Nocturne did a good bit of damage before she was able to go through.
Yeah, that fear tether is pretty far away, so even with the LeBlanc dash, she isn't able to. But it looks like they're setting up to catch the Nocturne out here.
I see that. Oh man, LeBlanc went in with the chain. Leona was there to hold it. Like, what else can you say? There you go. Game's already popping off.
And poor
And look
Lilia's
at that.
just there to watch.
Oh yeah. Now we did see Gnar. He's getting them grass procs. It's gonna be scary.
Yeah, getting this little guy into the mid game with a bunch of grass procs and no deaths behind this Renekton is going to be big. Now, he is behind CS, which is a bit weird because I don't know the matchup too well, but I thought Gnar was supposed to be able to beat Renekton early. But Tanks is known for his Renekton.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was about to say, it actually comes down to the Renekton in that play, because the one that wins without skill level bases. Oh, look at that. LeBlanc tries to pop in chain when Akali goes in. LeBlanc was able to come in with a dash. Auto, death.
Clean play from LeBlanc there, seeing the chain go off and not being able to see where Akali was, but seeing where the chain ended and being able to put 2 and 2 together and be like, yeah, she's right here. W in, easy kill.
So clean, you could eat off the plate. But look at the bot lane. Have you noticed that they haven't had any problems since that early engage? Oh, Leona coming in with the ult. Oh, she misses the stun on the Nautilus, even though Lilia was there to capitalize.
Yeah, that would have been a good counter
Nocturne
engage.
comes in with the ultimate onto the Ashe. Auto kill onto the Ashe. That was so fast. Lilia caught out by 3 of the teammates. Kalista popping some damage. Lilia having a flash, trying to get away. Does some damage before she's taken down by Nocturne. And Leona is just there. The cooldowns, man.
The Nautilus I want to highlight there, casting his Q right as the sleep took, so he didn't actually have that much time of sleep because half of it was him pulling Lilia in because the sleep does not cancel the hook animation.
Exactly. Thank you for catching that. You're right.
But yeah, that was a really good play by the bot lane there.
Oh, LeBlanc missing the bush that she needed to do. Kalista able to get out, and Nautilus stuck inside of the bot lane. I don't know if they'll have enough damage for this, but with Leona coming in, they might have enough. Are they going to dive the turret, though? Again, Leona misses the stun.
Leona's going to need to go into practice tool and figure out the range on that
Now,
one.
one second, we do see the Gnar is going full on. He's going full damage. Renekton having to pop R. Gnar having to flash out, knowing the trade is going to be lost. Now, is he going to go in for the grass proc?
Renekton might go in for the kill.
Renekton was going in. He went and flashed. Was able to get past the minions to be able to get a second dash. Didn't even need it. Popped his W and was able to get him with the Q.
Well played by Renekton. Once Gnar's out of his mega form, if he's that low, easy kill for the Renekton.
Easy, so easy. Oh, that double dash for the farm. You gotta appreciate LeBlancs that actually know how to proc their abilities for their waves.
Imagine knowing how your abilities work.
Oh, no, not this League of Legends player. No, sir.
No.
Now, we do see, if you look towards the jungle, it looks like Nocturne and Lilia are meeting up as we speak. Now, are they going to trade for the Scuttle?
Oh, yeah. If Blabber has taught us anything, it's that you must get the Scuttle at all costs. It doesn't matter if you lose the game, it's about the Scuttle.
For real. Now, we do see the support war going on, getting all the wards taken out. You got to appreciate that out of your supports.
Oh yeah, especially with this mobile LeBlanc. If LeBlanc can get behind that tower without the bot lane knowing, there's easy chances that she can just get a one-shot onto their Ashe.
Now Lilia is trying to come in for the... I can't even speak. You go ahead.
Oh yeah, well Lilia comes in, Akali ult 1, E out, ult 2 to go back in on the LeBlanc and is able to trade
Akali went in for that
one.
and got it! And now Akali is officially back on the board with 2 stacks to that Dark Seal.
Yeah, no, she was able to somehow die and then get the kill, giving her the Darksteel proc, I believe. Which is pretty impressive. But deciding that she could get out, but deciding the one-for-one trader would work better for her, trying to get back in this game.
Definitely.
Nocturne all going in?
Nocturne did go in on the Leona, but not much is going to happen.
Nautilus saying hi to the tower!
Having to be saved now. Oh, they did not go back in. I would have went back in there, you see?
Oh, yeah. Nautilus deciding that he has embarrassed himself enough for one day, decides to run back towards tower instead of trying to redeem himself there.
My Lee Syndrome would not have allowed it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Nautilus just slightly missing the champion and going under tower.
Very unfortunate. We do see Renekton going in with a double dash, able to catch the Gnar, able to give him the stun, but wasn't able to clap with the Q.
Yeah, that, what is that item even called? Let me hover over it. The Iron Spike just not quite connecting with Gnar there for the extra heal.
Definitely. Now we do see, it looks like Red Team is going to be getting their first, oh wait, hold on. This
Everything's
may be
going
kill
on.
So many beautiful things, League of Legends, everyone. Too many things happening everywhere, and then our teammates wonder what we were doing.
Oh yeah, we have Renekton diving top. We have LeBlanc 2v1ing just to get some chickens, having to flash for the chickens. I'm not sure if it was
worth it. We see LeBlanc going in onto the Akali, able to get the stun off, dealing fair damage to the Akali. Leona going in onto the Nautilus, flashing so that she could try to get that extra damage onto Kalista. Other laners coming in to be able to help. Nautilus stunned again and put to sleep. Still not enough damage to take it out. That Kalista is surprisingly tanky.
The Kalista's tanky and Nautilus was doing so much to keep him off her and forcing them to focus him instead. Kalista was just using her dashes to get around. Apparently Akali ulted because there's the ult 2 out of her.
You gotta love it. So much mobility in that mid lane. It's gonna be such a Naruto fight over there.
Yeah, you have these champions like the Nautilus and Leona that are so good at locking champs down, but you have to be able to get your mouse over the champion to lock him down. And I'm curious if the Akali and LeBlanc will be able to avoid these CC champions by just outmaneuvering them with dashes and disguises and shrouds and whatever LeBlanc's flat passive is called.
Definitely. Oh, we do see Renekton going for double dash and getting good damage off the Gnar, but the grass procs.
Grass parks are there.
Oh man, this mid lane is wild. LeBlanc going in for the chain, was able to get the damage, but was not able to get the second chain to follow for the kill.
But yeah, this top lane is just these two going back and forth.
We see the island fight going. We see Gnar going into Mega Gnar form. Was able to get out using his ultimate, but that trade would have not ended well for him otherwise.
Yeah, these top laners are doing the same thing. Renekton goes in, trades, as he's leaving, the Gnar trades back. But this Renekton is 2-1 while the Gnar is 0-2. So Renekton's slowly being able to bully this Gnar out of lane. Now
while we're waiting for the fun to happen, why don't we discuss one thing? Notice the dragon split up. Blue team getting the Ocean Drake is definitely a good call, but the Mountain Drake onto that enemy team is so good. LeBlanc came in for the gank, was able to get a clean kill onto the Callista. Trying to follow up onto the Akali, was able to get the stun off both the Akali and Nautilus. You see the full team engaged and able to clean up that bot lane like it was a fresh plate.
Yeah, Callista got greedy there, thinking that she could kill the Ashe, but that didn't notice the TP behind her as the rest of the red team collapsed in from the river, and that is an easy kill, or 3 kills for Dark On Jah.
Oh yeah, definitely wild. And that might even be first hurt.
It might be.
We do see Nocturne trying to hold on to the mid, but he's going to be taking so much extra damage from the Lilia LeBlanc. I don't think he's actually estimating that well.
Yeah. Gumball, if you would be so kind to repost the link for the stream in our Discord, as apparently the link is not working. I'd love to tab out, but that means no one can see the video, the movie that we're all trying to enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Renekton going in with the dash taunt was able to get away with the next one.
Yeah, and we're seeing here these trades are becoming more and more unbalanced.
Yes, definitely. Let's talk about that gold differential for a second. We're seeing blue team with 23k already, but red team is able to score an extra 5 kills, hitting them with that almost 3k gold lead at 15 minutes.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see which button it does. There's the gold, maybe. Nope.
Whee!
Hold on.
Behind the curtains, y'all.
Menus
Look
go
away.
purr. I haven't done this in forever. There we go.
LeBlanc going in for the stun. She's able to catch it off of the Nautilus before Callista all goes off. Nautilus going back in to try to stop the enemy team. Leona trying to go in for the kill, was not able to defend. And now we see Nocturne able to pick up the double kill with the help of the tower.
With the help of LeBlanc running at him. I don't know what the LeBlanc was doing there. She was out, turned around, and walked at him.
2 words for you. Lee Sin Syndrome.
Ayo. Alrighty, well, now that I have the menu back up, we're going to click this button and be able to see the gold differential. And we see that the Renekton is over 1,000 gold up on this poor Gnar.
Yeah, that's not going to be looking good, especially if we're going to go into team fights.
Yeah, just looking for where all this gold is spread around. The Lilia actually has the most gold on Dark On Jah here.
I am not surprised. She's been able to carry a lot of those kills, and she's been able, like you said earlier, to be effectively farming that jungle at the same time.
Yeah. And all of the
now
Gilded
Nocturne
Vipers...
is trying to get kills onto the Renekton, but it looks like Renekton was able to double dash out just in time.
Oh yeah. The Nocturne has all of the Gilded Piper's gold here, so it's going to be on this Nocturne to make plays.
Definitely.
There's only only so many buttons I can click.
Definitely. Now there is a very big contested fight at Drag starting to build. I don't know if you noticed that ward placement, but they're definitely fighting for it as the island in the top lane continues to try to go at it.
And Renekton has TP and has the wave pushed. So Renekton can just stay top and then TP once they're ready to go for this dragon, which it looks like they're about ready to go.
Oh yeah, but with the Nocturne there, they gotta be careful. If anybody gets vision, that's Nocturne into the dragon pit.
Definitely. While all this is going on, though, posturing position, Renekton gets the third tower of the game.
Oh, Rift Scuttle pop mid. Nautilus going in for the flash onto the Ashe. Ashe able to get out, but Nocturne popping out to try to get him. Exhaust pop by the Leona. Ashe able to get out, and they were kiting Nocturne out, but he was able to make it through.
We have another fight. Akali going in for the
Akali
1v2
trying
here.
to get onto the Lilia. LeBlanc able to get that stun off. Oh, she's just cleaning. Oh man, what a fresh plate of food right there. That's what you call a big plate on Thanksgiving. Cleaned up.
Akali knew the one she wanted to go on, but it wasn't the one close, and just kind of walked around, giving the Lilia and the LeBlanc enough time to get their cooldowns ready.
Definitely. Now we do see the dragon fight starting to happen, and Nautilus is trying to position himself, clearing out some wards while they try to get something out of this Drake. But I don't think they can. They just don't have the presence there without Akali to be able to smash out one of the carries.
Yeah, but this should be a fairly free dragon here for Red Team, as it looks like the Gilded Pipers are just backing off, giving On Jah their second dragon of the game.
Definitely. Let's appreciate, a lot of people don't appreciate it, Drake. That 10% cooldown on your ultimate, especially when you give it to a team like Leona, Renekton, Ashe, it's gonna get crazy, you guys. That all-in comp the blue team is doing is just not popping off.
And we already saw the combo when the Nocturne dove. Leona ulti into Ashe ulti into Leona Q. Like, you don't get to move. Now, they have this
Definitely.
wonderful dive comp, but I think I was mistaken. This disengage comp just seems to be working beautifully for Dark On Jah here.
Definitely.
We have...
Let's talk about... What's up?
I don't know, what do you got to
Let's-
talk about?
No, I was definitely gonna mention. Let's talk about the mythics for a second while we're waiting for something to pop off.
Yeah, all mythics for Dark On Jah have been completed, as are they now for Gilded Pipers.
Now, I will say, it's really interesting. The changes, like we were saying earlier, to Stridebreaker. The fact that it was able to give so much power to Nocturne, we're definitely seeing in this game. He might not be able to engage as deep as possible, but it's definitely been able to carry him with that intense slow that it carries. Now, we do see a possible engage happening in the top lane. Akali trying to get some free damage onto LeBlanc, doesn't realize that Leona's coming in. Nocturne popping ult onto the LeBlanc, trying to trade it and everything. Oh, it's turning into a big fight now. Lilia trying to go in onto the... Oh, cleaned up by the Lilia. Akali, of course, being able to get out so mobile she is. Akali trying to go back in onto the fight. Red team trying to TP into the fight.
Renekton TPing there to make sure the Akali doesn't get funny ideas about that low LeBlanc there, making sure his team gets out and they can set up for Baron here, it looks like.
Oh yeah, definitely. You also got to think, as long as they don't give her Darksteel stacks, that Akali is pretty much not in the game.
Yeah, this Akali only has one item plus boots here, and is building a Zhonya's it looks like, so she's not actually going to have a lot of damage for a while.
Oh yeah. Now
Leona
we do see
spotted out.
Nar trying to poke a little bit, Leona running front line against this, but she's not able to hold them all back. In fact, she's getting confused, not being able to hold off. She's now getting collapsed on by the bot lane, and the Nar able to flash back to her team to try to survive. Akali able to clean it up. Baron being able to be taken by the Lilia. LeBlanc able to get out. Renekton stuck under the wall, and it looks like the only death they're going to carry from this is the Ashe. I would still consider that a favorable trade.
Yeah, the Ashe and Leona fall there for Baron, and you have to wonder if it's worth it. The Baron's going to be very powerful, but you have to be able to play the macro well to make use of it, so I'm curious to see if Dark On Jah will actually be able to use their 3 remaining members with Baron buff to make those 2 deaths worth it.
I definitely feel it. You got to think that they actually were able to keep Renekton with the Baron buff. Nautilus going into the turret trying to catch LeBlanc. LeBlanc making it out with a dash.
Yeah, that's flash for Nautilus. I'm not sure if you want to be flash hooking a LeBlanc because that seems doomed right there because she's just going to dash away. I'm not sure if it's worth the flash.
Hey, but you got to give it for the man for trying.
Oh yeah, trying to get another member knowing that 2 are dead, hoping to maybe get a 3rd without Baron buff before the rest of the team respawns.
Now, let's try to keep a good eye on the Renekton for this, because I feel like he's definitely going to try to set something up with the Baron buff that he carries.
Yeah, the Renekton's great at this split push. He doesn't have TP up, so he will have to... The rest of the team will not have him for a team fight if it breaks out. But it looks like they're going to be going for a 1-3-1? I say 1-3-1, but their 2 members are just vibing in the bottom blue jungle.
It kind of looks, to be honest with you, like they're trying to set up for a Leona play, and, you know, having Lilia come in. But it looks like they finally realized that the easy pickings is going to try to be Akali. Ulti out of Leona to catch. LeBlanc is able to get the sun off. Zhonya's is popped by Akali. Akali is trying to get out, but there's just too much CC out there.
Lee
Nautilus is trying
Syndrome,
to go
burr!
Nocturne getting caught into the Lee Syndrome, getting caught out by the LeBlanc, who was able to Zhonya's in that fight. And Lilia just able to clean it up like we were saying earlier. And with the entire team there, there's just nothing that Nautilus could do. He just had to walk away in shame to the death screen.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. You have a Leona there, you have a mobile LeBlanc. There's not much Nocturne's going to be able to go in on that for by himself.
Amen to that, sister.
Ayo. But with this Baron, I was wondering if the 2 deaths were worth it, but they're already pushing the bot tower, their bot inhib tower as Renekton pushes the tier 2 top.
And there's nothing they can do. With Lilia there to back up the Leona, whenever anything gets stunned, they just have to give it up.
Yeah. Does Ashe have Baron? That is the real question, or is she just doing normal pushing? I
She's
believe
doing
Ashe was
normal
one of the
pushing.
2
She had
dead.
died at the Baron pit.
True. So, but she is still able to get that tier 1 turret right in time for Dragon number 4 of the game.
Like I said, man, if they continue to stack these Windrakes, that ulti cooldown is just going to get worse and worse for blue team to try to fight it.
This is their one chance. They only have 3 members on it. Up, here comes the TP
I honestly
from the
feel like
LeBlanc.
this can make the game.
LeBlanc is in the backlines. They know she's back there, but I'm not sure if they know exactly where. They're trying to find her, and while they are searching, easy pick up.
And we see LeBlanc trying to get heavy damage onto the Mega Gnar. Nautilus, having been caught out by the Lilia, was still able to get out of there with a good hook against the wall.
And Dark On Jah is playing this so beautifully. They're able to have the LeBlanc distract the team while the 3 remaining members pick up the dragon, while Renekton's just split pushing the sideline. Brilliant map control.
Now we do see Renekton trying to come in for a play. He's getting ready. Flash was pulled out of Nocturne. He goes for the double dash, catches a Callista, and was still able to help Lilia clean up both of those kills. Man, you gotta love the burn damage on Lilia.
You gotta love it. And Leona's just dropping her ult every 20 seconds. That cooldown is maybe 45 seconds right now. She can just drop it whenever she wants.
All I gotta say, most underestimated dragon, Wind Drake.
Oh yeah, and the fact that her cooldown for her ult is ridiculous for how good it is.
Definitely. They were able to get another base turret, opening up the mid lane, and the bot lane has already been opened. It looks like they're trying to do Mega Gnar, getting a good ulti off, getting 2 stuns off. Lilia already low on health. Lilia gets picked up by the Mega Gnar. The rest of the team ready to collapse. Renekton Papa's ult was able to get the Akali, and Leona was able to clean up, or Mega Gnar was able to clean up on Leona, and he's just, oh, Mega Gnar really got himself the good amount of gold for his team in that fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's only a 2 for 2 there, so they get rid of the Baron buff, but at the same time, no objectives to go for, no lanes pushing for them to get, so really they're just buying time, hoping they can somehow find a good fight, get more gold, and try to turn this game around.
Exactly, took the words right out of my mouth. Let's talk about the items that are being built for a second. We already have Mega Gnar with his second item built and his boots fully flexed in there. We see that Nocturne is going for more of a lifesteal build instead of, what could he be going for? You think Blade of the Ruined King?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think lifesteal is the way to go here. I think you would, at least personally, I think you would want to go more tank here since you already have your Callista and Akali to do damage, and I don't know. It is
Definitely
interesting though,
there.
hoping the lifesteal will keep him alive longer in the fights, thinking it's better than just building more straight up HP.
Definitely.
I don't think Rune King's the way to go though, looking at the champs, because they don't have any true tanks.
Exactly, that was my thoughts exactly. Now he might be going into a Ravenous Hydra to try to get all those procs whenever he pulls out his E.
That would actually be probably the best there, because the only other item I can think of is Bloodthirster.
And, you know, even though that's for the meme plays, I don't know if they're exactly at that point in the game where they want to try to pull it out.
Yeah. But we're talking about these 2 items on the Gilded Pipers, but some of these champs are close to their 3rd item over on Dark On Jah.
Speaking of what are those
having
3rd items,
multiple items there.
as we see, LeBlanc was actually just able to finish her Zonias, and if you look, she's already got 9 stacks on that Dark Seal. That is nasty.
This LeBlanc's massive, having almost, over 75%.
Callista, having messed up her flash, is about to get caught out, had to pop her ultimate to try to get Nautilus to defend her. Was able to do it. Nautilus was able to catch out Renekton. Renekton now being attacked like the raid boss he is by 4 teams. The rest of the team, though, able to collapse onto the Nocturne that was trying to pull off plays.
Yeah, 1 for 1 there. Oh, 2 for 1 there, actually. Gilded Piper slowly being able to find a way to crawl back into this. Nocturne being able to catch out the Ashe while the rest of the team was dealing with the massive Renekton.
Raid bosses, you gotta love them.
You definitely do, but this fight does mean that Gilded Pipers now have control of the Baron.
This may be their 2nd Baron of the game, and if they get it, I think we're getting close to a GG at that point.
Yeah, Gilded Pipers do have vision control though, but seeing that Soul Dragon is up, they are going
now
for
Lilia did go in. LeBlanc is trying to go in onto the Akali, doing a ton of damage. Nocturne trying to go in onto the LeBlanc. LeBlanc just being LeBlanc. Akali able to get an attack onto the LeBlanc. LeBlanc showing herself with the Zonias, getting caught out by ADC. And Callista, with the help of Akali, was able to finally shut down LeBlanc.
This Akali's starting to pop off. Renekton fighting himself with 4 members of the enemy team.
Ooh, feels bad, man.
Does
but
it,
that
though?
healing, though, was able to keep him in the game for long enough. Nocturne trying to pop the ulti into the fight, being held down by Leona. Nothing he can do, and gets murdered again.
This Renekton is definitely raid boss mode here. Just tanking 4 teammates of the Gilded Pipers, and still just pressing Q and being at full HP.
You gotta love it. Double dash from Renekton was still able to get the last hit onto the Nautilus to kill him off. Leona at 0 HP, still able to slow the Gnar long enough for Ashe to finish it off too. That's another Drake.
That is Soul Dragon. That is ult up all the time. That is extra movement speed. It is the whole 9.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now let's also look into that free inhibitor that was just taken by the Renekton for surviving like the raid boss he is. Kalista, trying her best to be able to hold off the Renekton, is able to get a lot of spears in him. With the wrench, he wasn't able to do too much damage to him. The team was not there to collapse. LeBlanc was there, though, to try to collapse, but was not able to place enough damage onto the... Oh, man, LeBlanc is spicy.
LeBlanc's W's move her everywhere, and she is just bouncing around, trying to avoid the Kali while trying to assassinate the, Kalista? Yeah, that's the name. I was thinking Kaisa. I knew that wasn't right. But trying to assassinate her, but unfortunately one of her bindings falls just short and is unable to root up the ADC there.
Exactly my thought. Man, playing into LeBlanc, it's like whack-a-mole. Which place is she going to pop out of next?
You never know, but both these mid laners are doing their best. The Akali's been starting to find some plays here too, being able to dive in and getting rid of the Ashe ADC, which is just slowing and doing a lot of damage to the enemy team.
Now we do see Baron starting to be taken, and it looks like the bot lane and the Akali is on the way. Nocturne is following up in the near behind, but it falls short. They decided to stop the Baron for some reason and give blue team the time to set up.
Yeah, now granted, they have no vision control of this Baron over here. They just walking around blind, don't even know if they're doing it. But red team decides it is not time for Baron, it is time for something else.
A lot of items are starting to be completed. We are definitely seeing late mid game at this moment. They already have one inhibitor taken in the mid lane. They're forced to contest that. And now that with that bot lane already starting to push back out, you got to think, what is Blue's team going to do with this advantage?
Yeah, you are just looking at this and you see the minion waves pushing in, and Gilded Pipers have to respond, letting the Dark On Jah just go back into the jungle, reestablish the vision control they had earlier, and just do Baron.
Now, we do see Baron actually started to be taken, and they are clearing the wards, trying to defend. They now realize they're taking the Baron. The entire blue team tries to go in, but Baron is already taken. Are they going to commit? Renekton goes in with the ultimate. The pit fight is massive. Everything is starting to die. Blue team is slowly being killed by that Renekton raid boss. The damage on that empowered Q is crazy. Leona able to catch Akali. Akali trying to survive.
Oh
Renekton
no!
following close behind.
Oh no!
Soloed by the support.
Oh,
Let me see
no!
it. Oh yes, my inner Leona is striving in excellence.
But yeah, the Gilded Pipers try to make a fight in the Baron pit, but you're all so close together like that, that's a playground for Renekton. He's getting 5-man Qs, getting all of his HP back. Hold on, I will be right back. You keep talking.
Definitely. Now we do see this has been pretty much game. They had full control since early mid-game, and red team just brought it all the way home.
Yeah, that was
Gotta
well
love it.
played. And we're giving credit to this Renekton here, 4-2, but this Aurelia is 11-2, LeBlanc's 9-3. Like, this was definitely well played by all the members of Dark On Jah here. Ashe 3-5, but 12 assists, and Leona with 15 as well, doing their job.
Definitely.
So, coming into
Exciting
game 2,
games.
what do you want to see banned, and what do you want to see Gilded Pipers change for this next game?
Gilded Piper specifically. That was red team, correct?
Gilded Pipers was blue team.
Oh, gotcha. My apologies. Still
All
getting good at
good.
this caster stuff, guys.
The only reason I know it's because all my teammates are on the red, or my traitorish brethren are on the red team.
Oh, true. You're right. Alrighty. Man, what would like them to change? Leona ban. Definitely one of those things you got to do. It's just way too much crowd control. Too much. It's good for the early game because of her E engage, and then you got to think about the Q stuns. It's just too much. Even if you had the Nautilus Callista, that's only a defensive measure.
Yeah.
Other things that I would like to see changed, definitely the LeBlanc ban was up there. If Akali didn't have to deal with somebody just as mobile as her while still being able to put out the same level of damage, she would have been able to hyper carry that mid lane and would have definitely changed the whole scope of the game.
Definitely. I also just think it was a comp difference. I got baited as well. I was like, I'm not sure what this comp does, but the disengage on that comp is so good. Being able to shut down the Akali and not allowing her to do anything, shutting down the Callista as well in the Nocturne from getting onto the back line. And it's just so effective against those dive comps where they need to be able to kill the carries quickly. And if you can't, you're dead.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely. I have to agree with that.
Gotcha. Well, I am doing a couple admin things. Are there any last things you want to say before I post the next draft that has been done?
Let's keep having exciting games.
Yeah. All right. So while I'm pulling up this, what do you want to see Dark On Jah do? What did you like? What do you want him to keep? What do you want him to change?
I feel like if the bans aren't against them as they were in this round, I feel like they had just great potential. It's just, oh man, just play it as you did. Beautiful.
Alrighty. Well, going to pick ban here. Changing out the image. This image is not the correct one. Ignore it. It does not exist. We're gonna browse my local files. We're gonna click on that.
Well, guys, you gotta love it when we're behind the curtains like this. You get some real private time with us. I guess I'll share a story of my days. You're actually speaking, my name being Leon, with the soldier. So, crazy stuff that goes on behind the lines.
Definitely. All right, so here is the draft for game
Let's
2.
go.
Let me see if it's up. Yes, it is. Excellent. So, what are your thoughts on the draft?
I would love to see it if
Oh.
you streamed it.
Oh, well, oh, all right. You're not watching the stream on Twitch?
I apologize.
All right, well, now I have to share screen. All right, there.
Alrighty, let's look at these. Oh man, okay. So, these bands are strange, I want to say. The Lilia was definitely a good band pick. I don't know if Nautilus was the right pick for these bands, but I definitely do like it. Now the Akali band, interesting.
Those are the picks. The bands are underneath at the bottom.
Oh, I'm a dummy.
Oh, it's all good.
Now, I did notice that they did ban the Renekton. That's a really good play. Banning the set, amazing. I definitely feel like they did a lot of priority towards the top of the jungle with these bans.
I am going to
Now,
give a shout out to Tanks for being a Renekton main and having faced it before. His Renekton's not fun to play against. I definitely like the Renekton ban here because that is by far one of his strongest champions.
I definitely noticed he did a really good job. He was the impression of a raid boss. Now let's look on to Dark On Jah bans. We see, I believe that's a Fiddle ban with a Silas and a Senna. Really good bans, to be honest. Senna being able to put out good amount of DPS while giving a good amount of healing that people always tend to forget about. And let's not even talk about the AoE stun. Really good pick. Silas is another character similar to Akali that I feel has just so much kill potential. So it's just seeing these bans are really good for the game.
All right, I have that set up. So I'm now taking a look at these as well. Yeah, so I'm seeing another disengage comp, it looks like, from Dark On Jah, with the Karma there just to speed up the Hecarim to make him go super fast, give him an extra bit of damage. Well, Gilded Pipers seems to have another team. It seems to be a standard team fight, it looks like, with Victor just kind of pushing the lane, the Akali there to catch out stragglers.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Now, my question is, it does look like it's a bit more on the back end of the footing, but again, they underestimated the Lilia the first time. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to estimate it correctly for this game.
Yeah, Gilded Pipers, instead of banning the Lilia from Dark On Jah, decided to take it for themselves. Now, the Nocturne was banned, but that was second pick, thinking that it might go into the solo lanes, like we talked about earlier. But
Definitely.
which draft do you think? Which one are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling Dark On Jah. I'm feeling it. They were finally able to get the Karma pick. They got early banned. There must be some history there as well. You got the Maokai for the good amount of CC. Wukong just there to follow it up. And, you got Hecarims to clean anything that doesn't get hit. And Ezreal damage. Let's just say that.
Yeah, Dark On Jah has great disengage, but also has great engage with the Hecarim ult, the Wukong ult. Easy playing grounds for this Ezreal. So, without further ado, I will hopefully navigate correctly back to the game. While that's loading, I am going to check and see. Oh, yes. Asp, hello. So, we will have someone else joining us to shoutcast for Game 2. I will be dragging him down in a second. If you have any last thoughts while I'm gone, feel free to say them. Yo, Asp, you want to cast?
Hell yeah.
Ash is hopping in, dude.
Hell yeah. I'm dragging him now.
Hell yeah. Let's
Oh, yeah.
go.
Put him in, coach.
Alrighty, I have brought our new caster. Do you want to introduce yourself before we get the game started?
Oh yeah, my name's Asp. I am a ARAM main. I'm gonna be challenger soon.
What have I done? I apologize, viewers. This is not what I wanted. Without further ado,
Oh man.
let's get this game going. I'm going to pull up the time thing real quick. And
Don't
then,
forget your Discord stream.
the Discord's... dang it. See, you know, it would be great if Riot made these files so they worked on everyone's computer, so I wouldn't have to stream. But, you know...
Rito.
Small
Rito,
indie
please.
company. Small indie company.
Rito, please.
Alright. Can you see the thing?
I see it, and I
Yep.
see it perfectly.
Alright, I'm gonna turn on time controls real quick. Start it, turn time controls back off, and we are good to go.
So let's see. Again, we're seeing... Oh, look at that Aphelios with the call. They're definitely playing for the long game. Like you said, they're going to be on the back foot, but they don't mind it.
Right, that's a very low mobility hyper carry in Aphelios. We have a very non-standard top lane in Akali, and we have a high execution jungle in Lilia. And they are going to be running kind of a half skirmish, half protect the hyper carry. It doesn't really seem very committed. We see blue team posturing as anti-invade, whereas red team is doing a standard 5-point just watch the jungle. Except they're missing the very important bush that Maokai has just thrown a sapling into. And it looks like blue team's actually going to be engaging the invade,
They
whereas
are
Lilia,
definitely looking for it.
yeah, whereas, well, I mean, they could do it safely with Maokai, as you can see, just throwing saplings. And red team doing a weird half invade, probably just placing vision. Yeah, it looks like they just warded the blue team, blue buff.
Now they are able to get an early trade onto the Victor, doing a ton of damage, but they weren't able to finish it off.
Yeah, they're going to force him to reset, and either he's going to potion and just go, or reset and miss some critical early XP.
Now, I do want us to mention the play for the Ghost right before the red buff spawn.
That's hyper technology for the additional
Oh yeah,
damage
that's
on
a
red
dark
buff.
tech. No one is ready for
Unnecessary
that.
with,
That's challenger plays.
Yeah, that's a lot of leash for blue, and we see actually red team is faking a leash, considering that they're walking out to lane a little bit late, not quite as late as the hard leash that blue team gave. That might indicate to blue team, or well, that may not indicate to blue team that Lilia did start red. A early missed Q puts that on cooldown. Level 1, not really an aggressive position for Aphelios since he does not have his Q skill yet. But he is using his Calibrum to do a little bit of an early long-range trade against Ezreal. You know, short auto, long Qs, but wall of minions to protect them.
Now, I'd love to
doing-
hear your opinion on that top lane fight. Who do you think? What do you think this matchup is really going to be like?
Wukong wins this hands down. He's a bruiser, which really dumps on assassins, which really do not belong in top lane in the current meta. But you know, Akali gonna try to make it work. It's a different Akali player this time. The top lane playing it as opposed to the mid lane from last game.
Definitely,
but
definitely.
you do
It feels
see
like a
early
comfort
CS
pick.
lead. Yeah. Wukong is definitely gonna outtrade every level. Gonna outtrade level 1, outtrade level 2, definitely outtrade level 3.
All right,
And-
glad to see that we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah. We see just both junglers doing a fast clear. Lilia doing a path from red Wraith down to blue side, but there's not really gonna be a kill threat because Ezreal can just buffer E out of a Nautilus hook. Maokai is just tanking and can disjoint using his root, was it his W, his root?
I believe so.
Or no. Wait, yeah, W's root. I think E is sapling. Anyway, we see a small CS lead from Victor in spite of being forced to recall.
Now
very
we do
early.
see the aggressive Nautilus getting ready for the engage, getting damage onto that Maokai that they know can be a scary target.
Right.
2 flashes pop, Maokai on the defense, Lilia
Oh,
trying to
the
get the
flash
kill,
Calibrum.
and Aphelios getting that kill on the Maokai. Talk about protect the president to get him fed.
Well, I did have to open my mouth about the low gank threat here at bot lane. But we do see a return kill, probably. Oh, yep, with the early
Definitely.
teleport used to trade back. It's still a 1 for... Was that 1 for 2?
1 for 2, correct.
Or wait, no, is that a... Well, whatever. Basically, Wukong uses teleport, got an early kill. Got 2 early kills, excuse me. That's going to catapult him ahead a little bit.
I think you're underestimating that. Wukong with those double kills, that's a good amount of gold. That's already a Sheen into a lane that he was already probability of winning.
Right.
Now, another thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
This Victor, are you noticing that the Victor mana sustain is actually out-sustaining the Karma? I feel like the minute that these two start getting on low on mana, Victor's going to just start clapping lane.
It's possible. Karma
Lilia
is a pretty
coming into the
conservative
game, Karma just getting away with
though.
shield.
Yeah, Karma can just do that, basically.
Karma just says, gotta go fast.
Yeah, pretty decent CS lead considering, again, how Victor was forced to reset early. And then bot lane, you see a pretty substantial CS lead in spite of Aphelios getting that early kill, but that death has really cost him. But he should bounce back, especially, you know, as he starts chewing down this call.
Happens to the best of us, man. Those call starts, they'll get you. Now, we do see that there was an invade onto the jungle, but neither Hecarim or Karma were able to hold Lilia down long enough.
Right, and then they did do a just trade scuttle. You know, Hecarim got the top scuttle and Lilia got the bottom one, as she would, considering the jungle pathing that both of them started with. And on
to be honest, I think Lilia won out on that trade. I feel like the scuttle that's right next to that Drake is always best scuttle.
Possibly. I mean, he did. The top scuttle did facilitate the vertical jungling by Hecarim as he goes back to clear the drop. And then Lilia again sequencing the bottom, looking for something here. And a missed bowling ball.
Nautilus able to get the hook, but Ezreal able to E away from it.
Right, like I said,
having
that
to flash
for E
outside of the
makes
fight.
it safe. And then
TP being
another
popped.
Wukong. This is a replay of that earlier play, but it is not as committal. Oh wait, no, that's not from Wukong. That is from Karma, as a matter of fact. Karma doing a little bit of trade damage, but nothing too substantial. Victor is going to try and crash wave on that response and get something. No, he actually didn't crash it. He throwed, putting the lane back to neutral, but he might be trying to crash it now a little bit late.
Right now, we do see a possible engage between the Hecarim and the Karma. They're starting to collapse on top of the Victor. Will he be able to get away from it?
Yeah, that was actually a huge trade onto the Maokai. Can't really get away once he gets hit by hook. Ezreal low on that mana, but Nautilus, is he gonna? No, it would be too much of a dive. Wukong steadily cranking up the pressure in this bot lane, pops the ulti, disengages though.
Nautilus able to land the hook onto the Ezreal with no mana, but Aphelios was not there to follow it up.
That was some pristine spacing by Nautilus to hit the Ezreal with the hook, but not hook himself into tower range.
Hecarim trying to go in under the Victor.
Victor with a really defensive stun. Out of it, really good
able
move.
to get the laser onto the Karma. Karma really not able to get that last hit onto the Karma, forcing himself to fight against the Hecarim.
Fantastic. Yeah, you saw the defensive bubble used by Victor, and he stood in it, but Hecarim pushes on his E, pushed him right out of that bubble to safely engage Karma, gauging the aggression.
Nautilus
really well.
going in under the turret,
Very
able to
good
get
tower
the free
dive.
kill onto the Ilaoi.
Maokai.
The Maokai, apologies.
And then that puts Hecarim slightly ahead, 2 camps ahead, and 1 kill. Well, actually, not that ahead, because he does have a Sheen, which is a bigger power spike than the Amp Tome on Lilia. And it looks like they're going to be cooperating for a little bit of this lower scuttle, prepping for Dragon, but no deep vision into the red side for blue team, making it a little bit riskier, but it looks like they're going to come in having known that the reset happened at bot lane.
Exactly, and they definitely place it. We do see a control ward being placed onto the Dragon Pit. They know what's going on. Are they going to try to do it?
No, Ezreal's completely out of position. This is a giveaway.
Nautilus able to grab a hook onto the neck. Oh god, I'm messing
Victor
up,
does
boys.
have prio as well. This is a giveaway.
Now is it though?
Oh, Hecarim does try the Blast Cone play. Very cute, but he is just going to E himself out. No, he's not. He's going to get caught, as a matter of fact. Really, yeah, kind of a desperate Blast Cone. The Dragon was gone. He had no prio.
You just gotta love those desperation plays.
Yeah, I mean, for first Cloud Drake, I would say that's a definite overcommit. Not a really high value dragon.
Now hold your horses. I already told people about that Cloud Drake. You can't underestimate it.
I am underestimating it.
Oh wow. Okay,
Well,
I see.
okay, so we see a pretty decent trade here in mid from Victor. He's just gonna auto. Yeah. So Karma decided not to commit too hard, especially considering that she can play this a lot slower because she's a safer mid lane, and she's not really there to carry. She's there to support those divers, the Wukong and the Hecarim. Big divers, Maokai can disrupt as well. So when you consider the long-term objective, we see a play starting to happen here at bottom. Lily is moving in, moving Maokai into the alcove. Gets hit by the second. He didn't have and a sleep into the bonus damage. Hecarim moving behind to clean up the Lilia. This is going to be a 2v2. Hecarim a little bit committed, a bit low on health, and does turn and give double buffs over to Aphelios, who's going to be thinking about continuing the Nautilus passive in place. That's a free one.
Karma is there to re-engage, but I just don't think she has the potential to hold it.
Much too little, much too late. Especially considering the double buff Nautilus still
pops
has ulti up. I'm sure
trying to reposition. Snipe shot gets hit by Aphelios. Nautilus lands a hook, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, that was a Chinese action flick, one at a time going down there.
He did that.
It's funny, he did that with Infernum. If he had the Gravitum ready, that would have been much more lethal and probably made the players on On Jah Dark think twice about making any of these fights, but you know, it just happens. We see Wukong preparing a sort of light crash into top. You can see he has a substantial CS lead now, 2 kills under his belt, no mythic done, no boots done, just a bunch of item components. He's kind of pre-ordered his mid-game spike. Forced to flash there. Akali doing the perfect execution. Not so perfect in execution as it turns out. Hecarim chasing her down.
Lilia slow, able to hold off
playing
that
screen.
Akali.
Undeterred, moves in, gets the kill. Gonna walk away pretty easily. Lilia's a chaser, not a stopper. And it looks like Wukong TP's back to lane. Extremely healthy lane position for this Wukong. This lane is catastrophic for Akali right now. No flash, no ulti, about to lose 2 lanes to the tower. This is just swan dive for Akali. Needs to really reevaluate their mid-game plan as they sort of transition in. As you see, Wukong didn't finish his item yet, so he's not quite at his power spike. But everybody else, sort of just gliding along. The only person with a mythic right now is Aphelios, substantially ahead from the average gold on the map. He's got his guild first ready.
Going back to the talk about the mythics, I also want us to keep in mind, we noticed the Bandle Glass onto the Karma. She is definitely playing that good support role, but she's playing it from the mid lane, like you were saying. Now we do see a massive team fight that just caught off.
Big skirmish
was able to get a good kill onto the Lilia.
Yeah, the Riftwalker. Basically, they wanted to contest it, they got a kill, they no longer have this as prio. Akali sort of, again, licking her wounds, missing some CS. Wukong going to catch that wave, probably just fix it into a slow wave, pushing back, slow push, pushing back towards top. Small gold lead for Victor, substantial lead for Aphelios. This is gonna transition into the mid-game spike, probably on next Dragon, whenever that is. Akali with a decent E to trade, but doesn't commit to it. You don't really want to fight Wukong, especially with a level disadvantage. Wukong at level 9 has this level 5 Q, I presume. You don't really want to fight that.
Definitely. Wukong, though, is looking for every chance to poke at it.
Yeah, Akali rendered below half health at the threshold to get bursted down by 1 skill combo. Bot lane wisely freezing, trying to get some stability down here. It's been a very contentious lane, lots of roams, lots of ganks, even a couple teleports. Very few opportunities to take agency here. As Nautilus is such a threatening character.
I say exciting. Potato.
Exciting, yeah.
Now, is Wukong gonna go in for the play, for the kill under the turret?
It's possible. He just saw the shroud go on cooldown, so he has the possibility, but he doesn't know where Lilia is. Now they're about to know because Lilia is here at bottom.
We see another fight happening onto this bot lane.
They're thinking
Lilia
about it again.
Hecarim.
Victor teleporting down to bottom, so they're going to disengage this wisely. That puts Karma with a mid-prio, but there's no wave, so there's nothing to really punish red team here with. But Karma is going to take the opportunity to perhaps play some deep vision. She's got to know that these 4 are moving up, right?
I don't know.
Karma uses the speed and hustles out of here. Nautilus is going to be able to hook an ulti. He decides not to do it. Instead, they trust everyone else to engage. And, okay, so Karma does spend her flash wisely against 4 people, but that gives them big prio on this dragon. Looks like another gimme, considering that Maokai and Wukong both reset. Wukong, as you know, does not have his teleport because he used the top, which was a good teleport because it really put a big, nail in the coffin for this Akali lane top. They give up the dragon wisely. That would have been an int if they went for it. Ezreal did do an exploratory ulti towards mid that was not on trajectory with the dragon.
Definitely. Let's talk about these items again. A couple of mythics have actually been put onto the board. What do you think about the items so far?
I think Sunder, that's standard for Wukong in this meta. We've got a, what is that, a Iron Solari for Karma?
I believe so.
And that's fantastic, considering that a lot of damage from red team is burst. I mean, it is, in theory, burst, you know, with Akali and Victor, but, like,
Definitely.
the main damage dealer is gonna be Aphelios. And I guess you can even say the Locket of the Iron Solari is a good insurance policy against one of those, like, miracle Inferno multis that can happen from Aphelios if, for whatever reason, the blue team were to cluster up together. And again, Akali committing to the E on the minion has to blow Shroud just to avoid a ton of damage from
Backlash.
But
Yeah.
look at the diff on top. Can you tap X real quick so you can see the gold totals on Wukong? There we go. So we've got a substantial 2.2k lead all on Wukong. If you look at the gold lead for blue team, it's actually a lead for red team. So all of that context known, that's a big lead for Wukong. But proportionally, if you look on Aphelios, that is a massive lead for Aphelios, and that's where a lot of this power is going to be laid.
The
for
only
red team.
one that has been able to get past the 5k mark so far.
Right, and critically, that does mean that a squishy, immobile character like Aphelios with only a Victor Bubble, Lilia's Delayed Sleep, and a Nocturne for
Now
protection.
Lilia coming in for the gank onto the Wukong, was able to get the Drowsy up, forcing him to sleep under the ulti.
Great buffered ulti for Wukong to bounce the Akali in midair even as he was slept, and Hecarim coming in for the counter gank. Akali decides to commit to extra damage on Wukong. Wukong healthy enough to re-engage. Akali displaced in the smoke, but using her E to get out. Let's see if Hecarim commits to this. And it
does.
looks like they trade junglers, yep. Or trade the Akali for the Hecarim. Good buffered E again by the Ezreal to get out of that. But, you know, without a big commit, no Gravitum available, that wasn't really gonna be a lethal threat anyway. But, you know, just playing safe. You know, good mechanics here by the Ezreal. Keeping up in CS, you know, pretty well, especially considering the raw gold lead that Aphelios does have, and the general engagement danger that Nautilus constantly represents. So if we,
And this definitely plays back to what we were saying during the draft. Like, this team comp, it's good for early skirmish, it's good for the late game long fights. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing out of red team.
yeah, well, I mean, the one thing is we do have not a lot of defense coming in from. It's Nautilus. He's great as a one-character defense, but if he's out of position or he puts some skills on cooldown without forecasting and engage, if you look at blue team, that's a Wukong, that's a Hecarim. Those are two of the strongest I'm going on your carry engages that exist in League of Legends.
And even then,
know.
you have the Maokai to defend on the backline.
Right, exactly. And then Maokai can just be like, hey, you're too close, I pressed R, a fight is going to happen whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
So stabilization, really good for blue team, especially considering how disastrous some of those early game skirmishes went. Ezreal, again, keeping up in CS, not easy to do. I mean, a little bit less hard to do on an Ezreal, I'll admit, but still stabilizing. Contrary to that, top lane, this is just, you know, again, continuing.
Oh, we're having a fight happen onto the mid lane.
Right, a disengage R. That, I believe that Moonlight Vigil just straight up whiffed. It was gonna hit Maokai, and I'm not sure what guns he had. If he had grabbed them, he would have been able to hard engage off that. Again, look at how easy it is for Wukong to just trade there. He just does EQ out, you know? He even used this clone to absorb the Akali E, which
Hecarim coming in for a play here, was able to catch out the Nautilus. Nautilus being forced to flash. Karma
very
trying to
good
get some extra
mechanics.
damage in there.
Yeah, again, you see how you utilize the Hecarim E to get people out of the defensive Victor bubble, and you know, basically forces, you know, I think that was a flash on the Nautilus. So again, he can't use that flash for the flash R engaged later in the game. And you know,
Exactly.
assuming that they're keeping timers, that's 5 minutes of relatively safe posturing, because nobody else is really going to be able to engage from out at range on red team.
Much
So-
more even game on paper.
Right. So then we glance at the gold totals again, very close.
Maokai
And then-
coming in, knowing
and you
that the
just see
Hecarim was close by, and
how
Karma
hard
just
is that
dealing
Aphelios-
heavy damage.
Right, really hard for Aphelios to live. But again, Aphelios is dead. That's like 9,000 gold of power off the field for red team. But red team continues to engage very confident in spite of their complete lack of damage. 3 people dead. Ezreal looks for a snipe, whiffs it. Lilia deep in enemy territory, probably going to look for a teleport. Are people going to be able to chase her? Maokai sapling into the bush, maybe? And oh, that's
able to
unfortunate.
catch it at the last second.
Right,
Got
that's 4
taken
people
by
dead.
the
That's a
mic.
free dragon. Dragon is dead. Akali's in mid, showing in spite of the fact that her entire team's dead, she represents only herself. Eats a little bit of poke, hits the bone plating, she backs off wisely. Hecarim thinking about it. Nope, Stroud goes down. He's like, nah, let's just get tower pressure. What blue team really should be doing here is looking for a solid reset, considering how much gold that they just received. And that balance of power has tipped drastically from less than 1k behind to over 1k ahead. So that's a pretty big shift in power. They're going to look for the late Shelly before she gets subsumed by Baron. And how hard are they going to commit for this? It looks like Nollis hits the hook. The rest of his team has abandoned him though. And Maokai hits 2 people with his ulti.
Sad to see.
Oh,
able to make it out.
Actually gonna let him go, and it looks
Not
like
so
it was just a lack
sad.
of information. They just weren't confident enough to continue that engagement. They weren't sure if they were about to get sideswiped. You know, they didn't know if Aphelios had some critical, you know, R 200 years, you know, up the sleeve for them. So they decided not to risk it. You know, probably the wrong decision, but it's better safe than sorry, especially considering that they got a lead and they needed to reset, like I said. So they take the reset, you know, wisely. There's nothing really on the board for Red Team to take advantage of from the reset. Tempo-wise, it is the best call for them. As you can see, small CS leads in mid and bot. Aphelios still pretty strong, but quite vulnerable. Finished his second item, whereas Ezreal is on Sunder. 3 out of 5 Sunders on the blue team here. Second item not quite done. Putrefier critically on Karma. Looks like they're concerned about a possible Severum lifesteal tank on Aphelios. I mean, it is a decent idea, I guess, considering that Aphelios does hold most of Red Team's power. If they could prevent him from doing, like, for example, like using the Hurricane Severum Q to gain a, you know, insane amount of health, as he can sometimes.
Definitely. I fully agree with that. They definitely have to keep this Aphelios always on track since, like we stated earlier, this game is protect the president. If Aphelios is not there to do damage, that's so much outside of Red Team's favor.
Right, all that being said, the one thing I highly disagree with the itemization on Red Team is the fact that Nautilus is not hyper-rushing the Mikhails. 1 CC on Aphelios could spell a death sentence. If you could just give him a second chance with a Mikhails, or if Aphelios really forecasted with the power spread of his team and brought Cleanse on his side. Like, heal is good, but really, late game, mid game, late game, where he's really going to be enjoying his sort of flow, he really could use that cleanse.
Definitely. With the fact that they have a Maokai there, that's so much CC that can happen in such a short span of time. One more free get out of jail free card is what does it.
Hecarim multi, less so for Wukong, but again, yeah, the 2 binds and the knockback on Maokai.
And there comes down the Scully. Are they going to try to do anything with it, or just try to get some damage off on the turret?
I guess he just gets a hit. Oh,
goes in with the Hecarim multi.
Akali going for the engage on Wukong, but Wukong doesn't really care. Ends up having to use a flash. Looks like a big collapse on the top. Nautilus is trying to do some disruption, but he's just not in the right place here. He can't make it to tower to defend it. And basically, second tier 2 is not really worth defending, especially if it's going to cost you lives like this, because now what can you not do? You can't even cover territory for Baron. And Victor split pushing, not in vision right now. He's sort of biding his time. Is he going to show, or is he going to fake like he backed? I don't really think it's worth it. He doesn't even have his teleport.
Definitely correct. Let's put another thing onto the table right now. Like you were saying earlier, that was such an unfavorable lane for Akali. She has still not even been able to finish off a Mythic.
Yikes, that is a big yikes, because Akali has pre-ordered her, oh my gosh, what's the lifesteal item?
She got the
Rift
exactly.
Maker. Right, pre-ordered the Rift Maker, pre-ordered Hourglass, pre-ordered whatever the blasting one is supposed to be. Not really finishing anything. That's kind of a big oof. You're missing a lot of extra value in your Mythic passives, things like that. Yeah, it just seems like a really reactive sort of lane, because she did the detour to armband for Wukong, who already has still have armor shred on his Q. It's not really gonna help her that much, and going for the early the steel caps, right? That, like, I don't know. Akali's not a huge threat right now. I'd be really curious to see what the post game damage graph looks like on this Akali.
Exactly my thoughts.
Right, and then we've got this Lilia. It's a very particular playstyle. Made it work for a lot of these early engagements, but honestly, not to throw too much shade to blue team, a lot of those early game deaths were their errors more than they were Lilia's plays. I'm going to be totally honest.
And we're seeing that now with the gold differential. Now that we're actually starting to see some mid-game team fights,
Yeah,
we're
that's a
seeing that the
substantial
plays onto the blue team is really what's going to show on ahead.
Right, and they're really starting to, like I said, turn the screws here, start to steal away some of these camps, make sure that that they get all the gold that comes towards them. Victor, again, splitting to the side, his teleport's up this time, but again, not exerting any pressure. They give away the free dragon. Red team really didn't have a choice but to give it up. They had no prio. Akali was resetting, etc., etc., etc. Big engage here
do
from
see
him.
an engage.
Flash. Really great stuff. Aphelios just completely out of position. What is the Lilia and what is the Nautilus doing? That's what I want to know. How did they not forecast this big push? You know, Hecarim with Karma Speed. That's basically the game plan here for blue team. What are you going to do? Hecarim with Karma Speed, and then Maokai just leisurely walks up and ultis from the side, from the flank, really wide net that to catch this Aphelios in. And what's his heal going to do? He's not, you know, he flashed away from the Hecarim ulti, gets caught by Maokai. He's dead.
And we're still seeing that gold differential just slowly slide further and further into blue team's favor.
Right, and again, remember, a lot of red team's gold is tied up in Aphelios. Whenever he's dead, that gold diff is actually massive. Nautilus landing a Q, just doing it for funsies, I suppose. Ezreal doing a little bit of poke back, substantial damage with the Divine Thunder.
What is League of Legends without a little bit of funsies?
Right. So then, I guess blue team is gonna reset after establishing vision around Baron. Bot lane is a little bit open, about to sort of auto push, I guess. Maybe if we could click one of these minions, we could see if the minion stats have elevated to the point where blue team's just gonna auto push or not. Regardless, you see Victor clearing his own blue buff. A bit of a slow time here. Actually,
you see Lilia trying to go in
Lilia
on this
pops
solo
the ulti, tries to, he hits the blast gun for some reason, decides to consume his flash, turning around for some bonus damage, a use of the Iron Solari on Ezreal in an effort to keep him alive. In spite of that, Ezreal dies anyway to the dot.
Gotta love
and a counter engagement ulti. Akali goes in, does not that much damage. And Aphelios trying to disengage, hits the ulti, gets the kill on the Hecarim. That's going in a little bit deep. Wukong also dies. Both the divers are dead. It's just a Maokai and a Karma alive, and they are going to wisely disengage, probably give up this mid-tower to 5 people. Maokai with the flash Q, that didn't really look like a hit, but it hit regardless. Victor with the gravity well, just trying to hold him, but not really a thing. Lots of dot damage on this Maokai, gets sped up, and they're going to have to give up possibly the second mid-tower as well. This is possibly a Baron threat from Red Team. Looks like they're turning and considering it. Establishing some damage. Gets hit by the Maokai sapling. Gives away their positioning and their plans. They're really thinking, like, with this...
I think they got a shot. I think they have
a shot, but they don't have a solid tank. Remember, Nautilus is their only tanky character. And Ezreal got a lot of response. Lots of damage coming out from this Aphelios. Now, are they gonna turn in time, or are they just gonna burst it down? Looks like they're gonna get it in time. Yep, the Scribe sees it, but it's just way too late. They're gonna probably walk away. Hecarim thinking about the engage, hits the Aphelios into the wall, gets in behind him, holds him there. Aphelios is dead. That's...
Oh man, bad play by Red Team. They should have definitely played Protect the Present. They have to hold on to that Aphelios.
Yeah, and the thing is, they sort of left Baron in 2 directions and left Aphelios against the wall. They didn't really have a proper plan ahead of time of how they're going to respond to a blue team offensive. They thought, oh, you know, blue team's going to see that we took Baron, they're just going to walk away. No, it turns out they have Hecarim with Karma Speed.
Gotta love it.
And it looks like the counter push is going to claim mid-tier 2, which should swing the balance a little bit back in their favor. It does remain that Red Team has 3 members with Baron, though. And 5 people are going to push this mid and hit tower. Hecarim ulting in, gets the fear on the Lilia, protected by Victor Gravity Well. And Lilia does hop away under that protection. Akali hits E, re-engages onto the Karma, and R1 into Karma to death. Akali's thinking about the R2, dashes across into the Hecarim for the kill, but gets poked out by Ezreal at range. And a solid, yeah, he hit him with the,
You can do it. I believe in you, buddy.
oh my god, which is the sniper gun at range. And then, as you know, 200 IQ, he gets to hit him from, you know, however far he wants once he hits him with that ulti.
Exactly.
You know, he hits him with the Omae wa mo shinderu.
Pretty much. And as we like to say in our local Discord, they're just going Giga Unga now. Just go mid, get that mid turret out, make sure they can get into that Nexus.
And it looks like they reclaimed the mid tier 2. It is not quite tower parity since the T1 of top is still up, as you can see. Basically a delayed consequence of how that top lane overall went. And Akali did finish Riftmaker and Hourglass for some tricksy plays and, probably some adequate amount of damage later. I gotta tell you though, this Victor, not a huge factor, especially with the Everfrost.
I've actually noticed that too. He has been a surprisingly small factor in this game. Now we are seeing a TP.
Yeah, big commit TP. They're gonna a good steal on that dragon. Hecarim says thanks for the leash. Wukong says thanks for the engage. They trade the Maokai, but they're about to take out all their carries. Aphelios is dead again, Nala's dead. And they're gonna run down this poor Victor. And oh my god, are they gonna save Akali? They're backing off and saving the Akali for the pentakill on Hecarim!
Gotta love it. Let's go. That was wild, my friend. Blue team has been playing this favorably for themselves this entire game. They knew they were on the back foot that early game. They were able to hold off that bleed until they were actually able to hit those power spikes. You got Karma actually able to finish off her Mythic. After that, it was just a turning point for the whole game.
Right, and it's gotta feel really bad as a high damage assassin running deep into the enemy backline for all that backline at low health to be like, oh hey, hold up, do you see what's coming? You can't kill us. Do you see what's coming? The Hecarim's coming. You can't do anything about it.
And now let's just keep in mind that they have been getting buffed by the 3 fire drakes that they have taken.
That's a fantastic stack of damage for those divers on blue team. And as you can see, they just polished off the last of the outer towers. And the mid, was that, did they get the inhib? Yeah, the inhib's down.
Oh yeah,
so this is a
gone.
big scar down the center of red team base. And it's kind of hard to say how they're going to be able to come back from this. The damage is on Aphelios, but Aphelios cannot really utilize it. Look at the tragedy of ADC in 2021. Look, 4 items done on this Aphelios. He's even got the bonus longsword there. And how is he going to apply that? He can't. How does he plot that to the enemy team though? He can't. The engage begins from outside his auto attack range, ends up in his face down his trachea, and he can't breathe. He's just done.
Pretty much. I love seeing it. As a support main, seeing ADCs on this level of play, it's definitely sad, but it's definitely beautiful.
And then we even see we've got the Wukong. He's got all the CDR and the burst damage. He's even got the Merc Treads for additional anti-CC because again, look at the CC availability on red team. It's Nautilus, and then like weird stuff like Gravity Well and Lilia ulti. It's not really feasible.
It's not gonna hold.
Right. And then the only other imaginable CC is like a Gravitum ulti into Gravitum active. And that's it. It's not really feasible. They can't defend themselves. And neither do they have the target access or the burst damage to threaten the front line of blue team before they can get engaged on. This is really a recipe for disaster. They've got this Aphelios, but it is just a false hope. Whereas the damage accessibility for Ezreal in this meta, as you know, especially with his Sunder and his Sheralda's Grudge done, it is massive. Oh wait, sorry, that's not a Sheralda's Grudge. That is was that a Manamune?
That is a Manamune.
Right.
I was about to call you out on it. Good call on that one, buddy.
Not quite finished on the Sheralda's Grudge, but you see he is building it.
Definitely. Now, there's another thing that I want us to keep in mind. Like you were saying earlier with the Wukong and the Hecarim build, because of those Fire Drakes, they're building so much damage. But with the Death Stance, they're actually able to hold off the only other carry on the enemy red team. Like you're saying, Aphelios is everything that's there. And
right, Stance, everyone else is magic damage.
But, like, Aphelios is the only one that matters. So the fact that they're actually able to hold it up.
Spends the flash to get the kill on the Wukong. Good use of the Hourglass there. Not a hugely consequential thing, as you see. Nothing is really up on the map. It was just the cute kill on the overpushed Wukong. That was, just getting a little bit too comfortable there in the top lane. Lilia, a lot of sneaky damage there with the with her passive dot and her mythic and that demonic embrace.
So much dot.
Right. And as you can see, a lot of power on blue team focused on this Hecarim. Really hard to stop. His ulti is unstoppable.
Oh, that is a sad Lunar Embrace right there.
I mean, whatever Ezreal ulti is, yeah.
The big thing, the snipe. We all love it.
Right. Looks like Hecarim just did a little bit minor engage there. Just testing the waters, testing the response, fishing for a flash probably, honestly. And then Lilia takes a lot of burst damage from the Ezreal. You can't really sit in that threat range and expect to, avoid damage unless you're going to be hot feeding it around. Big Q there, GC, from the Aphelios. He has power. Yeah. It's just that his range of threat is it's a small band, right? You got to be within his auto attack or his Infernum splash damage range, but not so close that he has to kite you, right? Or spend his long cooldown Gale Force.
Oh, that miss on the Nautilus could have been.
I gotta tell you, I don't think he wanted to hit that. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I don't know. I definitely feel like Aphelios was in place for that one.
So we got 5 people there posturing for Dragons. Not quite up yet. 30 seconds. Ezreal does a poking Q or poking R, tags it on.
Lilia is pretty much
Lilia.
already out of that fight.
Yeah, she doesn't have Hourglass since she used it in killing Wukong earlier, so she's really going to be considering her engage window. And then
but
a lot of
already I believe. Hecarim goes in
with the flank ulting people into place.
Oh, let's go!
Big kill on the Aphelios. Lots of powers off the board. Nautilus is down. Wukong flashing to engage,
with
finishing
off
play, and looks like a clean 4-0. Aphelios is dead. Akali's low health. Are they gonna hold this Akali again? Poor Akali, really.
Ooh.
Last one alive in these fights, and that would be Infernal Soul. Brings him to Soul Point, or brings him to Elder Point. And yeah, this is a bonus Baron. You love it when the Baron's just a bonus, just an afterthought. Super minions pushing into Nexus Towers.
They don't care. They want that.
Yeah, and then we've got Victor building the Void Staff, trying to penetrate some of the magic resist on blue team. It's kind of too little, too late. Did you even see an Everfrost that last fight?
I did remember seeing it, but there was just too much in the way.
Right, but they have so much. They had all their resources. They had their flashes. They had their ultis. They had Karma doing the ulti shield, speed everyone up. They lose Aphelios so quickly in these fights. How many auto attacks do you think he can possibly get off? Right?
There's barely any he can do.
Right, and it looks like Aphelios finally getting Last Whisper, but as you can see, not a lot of armor. Not a lot of armor in the enemy team. They understand he's the risk, but the best CC in the game is death. And again, I don't see a Mikhail's on Nautilus. I don't know, I feel like that would have made some difference, considering the avenue by which they keep losing these fights. It's not because, he's not getting hit by like a Iron Solari shield. It's because he just gets CC'd. And whatever position Aphelios is in is out of position because Hecarim exists.
Pretty much. Hecarim is just going to be there no matter what you do. He outmatches the Lilia in movement speed, and he outmatches her in damage.
Right, and Lilia starts these fights at low health, just getting poked out. Some of these like random exploratory positionings where Lilia sticks her chin out and gets punched, right? And then I don't really blame her, because look at all these camps going over the blue team. They're getting strangled out the game here. A little over 6k ahead. Big pokes, doesn't quite connect. Lilia is still really fast, and Akali tries to do a little. You see how they try and deal here? You get Maokai coming in with the transversal ulti, catch people inside their own base. Akali with 2 little health, moving to disengage, hanging out for some reason. Victor drops the gravity wall, sits in it, and Wukong a little bit too deep. Can't go through that wall. Didn't have his flash because he used the last fight to win it and get them both Soul and Baron. Can't really blame him for not having flash here.
Now you gotta appreciate Red Team. They're putting up a great fight. That engage over at that tower just now really gave some positive swing onto Red Team after this.
Well, I wouldn't say it was so much a positive swing as stemming the hemorrhage here.
I mean, like, you gotta do something, even a band-aid on a bullet wound.
And a immediate TP back to top for Karma. Looks like they're going to be keeping the pressure on. They're not really doing I would have expected a 1-3-1, honestly, from blue team here, trying to utilize the, leverage that Baron buff. Exploratory Q from Nautilus. Actually, that would have been pretty good if he hit it, but, Ezreal has the E. And nobody's really, bot lane's really abandoned here. It's kind of the stepchild of the lanes.
Abandoned is that top lane. The fact that the actual full top lane is still standing, that's some free gold the red team could take as long as somebody is able to get over there.
Yeah, maybe. They don't really have the map prio there, though. So missing Wukong, they don't really have their full engagements. Wukong does have teleport available. Hecarim presses the E, sort of pump fakes a little bit with the Karma shield. Doesn't really commit. They can't really defend this inhib though. Wukong is being deployed to bot lane to apply pressure with this teleport available. Standard play, but it's gonna take a few seconds to mature before blue team can really crank the pressure on. Maokai, receives a little damage, not that big of pressure, especially considering his passive is gonna keep his health up. Maokai does have his ulti available to force an engage, perhaps. Probably gonna coordinate that with Wukong teleport. If they can get
and looking back at the build,
that is a ward available. Maokai does do the root. caught in Gravity Well, missed Everfrost. Maokai walks away, disengages.
There's just
Lilia
not much
walks
Red
up.
Team can do.
Ezreal applying solar pressure up top. He's probably not going to get caught. Wukong applying solar pressure bottom. They have engaged the 1-3-1, like I said. And Nautilus hits the hook. Flash in from Lilia. Counter engage from Hecarim with the ulti. Gets the kill on Karma. And Hecarim going to turn around, return kill on the Lilia, but Victor gets a lot of extra damage and finishes with the dot from Lilia post-mortem. And it is a 2-for-1. Wukong did not teleport into that fight. Instead, they just engage it as a 1-3-1 where the 3 versus the 5. Now they all turn their attention to bottom, minus the Nautilus who got picked off at mid, as they're probably going to leisurely take that mid and hit, I assume. And everybody else collapses bottom onto the Wukong, who does eventually die to the massive collapse. Ezreal does not take the mid and hit, instead turns his attention to top, just putting on some light pressure, probably just collecting CS. Aphelios bravely attempting to cut him off with
Now that we have some time to talk about.
Did you see the ping pong?
That was
The ping pong
Ooh.
blast cone sending Victor away. Aphelios going for the hard engage with
He's able to get it with the Gravitum.
Gravitum swap. That was actually quite rude. He did the Gravitum to lock him in place with the Severum Q, swaps to the Calibrum. You know, it was a good solo kill. Ezreal did not really respect his gold. He beat him over the head with his wallet.
Now, I was going to say, now that we have some time to think about it, go look down at the Maokai. You can see he actually did build the Anathema's chains. So if there's anything in those fights, it's gone so much worse for Aphelios. Like, there's just,
right. I can almost guarantee you, now, Observer, you can actually click Aphelios to look at his debuff list, and you can confirm that Aphelios is the target of Anathema's chains. But yeah, that's actually just going to lengthen all the CC, all the incredible amounts of CC that is going to be aimed at on this fight. As they fight to preserve Elder, and it looks like Red Team is pre-ordering their positioning on on Elder spawns, but again, they don't really have the
now
prio here.
Aphelios
Their
did
costumes
start
are
it
all
up,
balled
pushing
up.
it. They decided to start the Elder. Are they trying to commit to a fight? I don't know if this is
Ezreal
something
is
they
completely
want to
forced
do.
out of position. He might give away his position with his ulti. And this is going to be a 4v5. Ezreal's not going to make it in time. Hecarim goes in, gets the nothing. It's not really dead yet. It's not low enough. And he does get the Elder mid-fight. And there we go. Dominoes fall 1 by 1 by 1. 1, 2. And Ezreal has
Aphelios
joined the
is
fight.
still up. Is there anything?
Aphelios is doing his best. It's just not much. GA is bought, ticking away. Sadly, going to be watching his life just disappear in front of his eyes. Victor did the classic counter positioning by going into the enemy team side jungle. Going to be getting the red buff, as you know, critical to saving this game. Maokai flipping around to see if he could hunt them, and decides, wait, never mind, you have a Nexus that's open that I should be going and taking.
And I think this is going to be pretty much game.
Well, I mean, there
played
is no
by
way to
Angel.
come back from this. At the very bare minimum, they're going to be losing all 3 in hits. But I'm pretty sure Nexus is about to go down. Again, disastrous fight. They got the Karma, sure, but like, again, very hard to leverage the gold that Aphelios is wielding. Tons of CC. He has to, like, the lesson that he learned from the previous fights is that he has to position more conservatively, but all that happened was that he just did less damage. And a desperate bid to keep the Nexus alive. Bravely fighting for the Nexus. Are they actually going to zone them off Nexus? It
I
does
believe
appear
they
to be
are.
the
With
case.
that Victor ulti, they were able to get just enough damage down to scare him off.
And the TP back to the fight from, it's kind of hard to see with the stream quality, it is Karma.
Lilia's ulti is out of the fight, so that can't be held against. Oh, I think this is game here, boys.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you really can't kite, you know, their divers with Karma speed to boost any one of them. And it was really a foregone conclusion, even though the bot lane really did go well for Red Team. The transition to mid-game just didn't exist. And
All I gotta say, this is why we ban Karma.
I mean, again, like Karma can be flexed mid or bot. It's kind of the fact that they did not draft a real top laner. Sadly, I hate to drop an entire game on one character, but like honestly, the Akali didn't provide good enough value for this fight. Neither did the Victor, because again, Victor Gravity Well, it's a good CC, but it's no Event Horizon. It's no anything with a reliable CC. Victor drops the Gravity Well, and then the fight just transitions 2 centimeters to the side of it, and then everything that was going to die continues to die.
Definitely. Oh man, well, Asp, I enjoyed taking a little bit of a backseat on this, on my first day of doing this. But man, your commentary has been great this game.
It's good to do it. Um, basically, I don't know. Like, what do you think Red Team could have adjusted? I feel like I'm going to go back to that item. I feel like Mikhail's could have been good. Shirelia's could have been good. You know. Oh yeah. By the way, that was Shirelia's on Mid Karma. Not Locket of the Iron Solari. But again, compounding that speed factor, right? Imagine just a Wukong flying at you with Shirelia's and Karma speed. Imagine a Hecarim doing the same thing. Imagine that Hecarim with Ghost. What are you supposed to do? You can only put up like a wall, and not Nautilus, for all of his value in CC and counter engage, he's just one guy.
Exactly.
He had like
They
a real
tried
top
to play,
laner.
like I've been stating it a couple times today. They tried to protect the president, and there was just not enough they could do. That was too much of a speed rush.
Right, I gotta tell you, like Victor is a defensive kite back sort of mage. Akali is a assassin. She wants target access. She's gonna be dashing in, trying to do tricksy stuff, disrupting for the enemy team. But like at the end of the day, you can't really burst anybody down through Karma Shield. You can't burst Ezreal down because he's got tricksy movement. You can't burst Maokai down, Wukong down, or Hecarim down. One, because they're in your backline, and two, because they're just too tanky. They built MR. Their plan was build MR, kill Aphelios, be invincible, and it's just sort of, it just sort of worked with flying colors, if you ask me.
Oh no, definitely. That was I definitely feel like it was in the pick a band stages. Whenever like as champions were going out, that match was already played.
Right, and then part of the tragedy was the early game vertical jungling that was engaged by well, it was on the second respawn, right? Because Lilia started red, and then transitioned down, made a couple good bot lane plays, but then from that point they transitioned to vertical jungling, which put Hecarim in the top quadrant, there to really, mess up the top lane, really continue the chokehold that Wukong started just by picking Wukong, right? And Akali was just never really a factor for that reason, just stifled economically, couldn't follow. I'm pretty sure Akali ran Ignite, like couldn't follow Wukong to any of these engagements. Wukong got those 2 early kills that really.
She tried to capitalize on the fact of being the second damage dealer, and she was just completely taken out of the game.
Right, and then her item path really did not let her have any kind of substantial damage until very late in the game, and even then, like by that point, Karma was fully online, there to shut down whoever was going to be a problem.
But now let's talk a little bit about the red plays. I feel like that Aphelios did an amazing job for what he was able to compete with.
Yeah, very good early skirmishing, helped a lot by a lot of these off positions. He could really smell that they wanted to stifle his early game econ, but with that knowledge in mind, he was counterplaying a lot of the plays that were coming bottom after him. And Lilia just sort of pre-ordered a lot of these fights, was the first down to bottom, stuff like that. There were some plays that Red Team really did react well to the, like I said, the what was it, Chinese action movie, 1x1, random roams to bottom, trying to, I don't know,
definitely.
put a tourniquet on that bleed. But then the critical thing is they did eventually put a tourniquet on that bleed in bot lane. Ezreal really stabilized, continued to CS, continued to remain relevant in those damage bursts. As you saw, a lot of those big committed team fights were preceded by a lot of pokes from Ezreal as they jut their chins forward into red territory.
Just not much that can happen there. There was just like,
well, they could have dodged better
to play.
And then,
but I mean, come on.
Right, and then
he's gonna have like 1,000 opportunities.
Right, and then as you see, the vision control from blue side really allowed Maokai to take a lot of these sort of flank positions to get diagonal ultis across red team. As you saw, they weren't that bad at sort of understanding the objectives that they wanted to play for, but they postured really clustered, and a little bit too early. They would get there like 15-20 seconds early and then just sort of sit on their hands, not really know what they're supposed to do, because they had like a Victor for poke. They had like occasionally Aphelios would be able to do some kind of poke, but then they didn't really have any committed poke. Ezreal softening up the targets.
I think we beat the dead horse enough. What do you think about all this, Pickens?
I definitely agree that the team comp was just a bit weird. If you're drafting Aphelios, you really kind of want to protect the carry, and the Nautilus is a good pick there, but none of your other champs that you've selected really do that job well, and Aphelios is one of those ADCs that has no mobility besides your Gravitum, which is up, sometimes, and that's not even really escape, that's more of you root a couple people. And I don't know, I just feel like if you're going to be putting all your, eggs in one basket with this Aphelios, which he played very well, you need to make sure that you have a good basket to make sure it doesn't break and spill all those eggs everywhere.
Which is exactly what we saw.
Yeah.
Right, they just did not have enough cushioning for that egg, and that egg got cracked every time making omelets.
Hey, you know, Shirelias plus Karma plus Hecarim, like, what are you gonna do? Like, there's nothing
Pray.
to do about that. But
I would get stopwatch on Aphelios.
yeah, but hear me out though. You get stopwatch. You are the only person on your team with money. You're out of stopwatch. Your entire team's dead, and they're all just kind of
You're right,
looking
you're
at
dead.
you. Like, I don't know what Aphelios can do there. ADC, like,
Aphelios can
just go burn.
he can hide in a bush. He can be 2 screens away and then begin a fight after his team's dead. That's the best he can do.
Yeah.
And this has been a sad day for tank mains like me. Nautilus was just not able to carry his Aphelios through.
He did his
Yeah.
best. He landed a couple good Qs, especially in early game.
And,
then
like,
he made a couple plays, yeah.
I don't think anything was wrong with I thought the Nautilus played it well. It's just with Wukong, with Hecarim, you need more than one champ that's on protect the president duty there. So Nautilus just is not going to be able to do it by himself.
Bizarrely, I
Exactly.
kind of wonder, right? This is going to be a little bit left field, but what do you think of Zillion mid for red team there?
Zillion mid
Zillion
would be
mid?
good. I think it's the same issue that we had with the Zonias, where they die and they revive and your whole team's dead. I would have liked to see maybe a Galio or something else that has AoE CC, so when they try these dives, that you can at least kind of get your Aphelios away or give him like some free time to kill a couple people before they're on top of him.
Now, I think
agree.
you're
think
both
that's a good call.
incorrect. No, I honestly
Okay.
do not agree. I feel like the Anivia would have been the play.
Nivea would have been pretty good. The wall does stop a hard walk-in engage, or well, detours it, deters it and detours it.
And then you got to think about the ulti. Once the ulti was actually put down on the ground, that's a lot of damage that Hecarim loses because of his passive.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
I agree with the ulti. I disagree with the wall because, as we saw, Hecarim just runs. So if there's a wall, he just runs around it. Wukong can go through it with his W. I'm almost positive. The ult's good, but again, I think you just really need a second hard CC tank because even with the Anivia ult, I think Hecarim still goes pretty fast.
Fantastic.
And you
Yeah,
have just
yeah,
made
that's a
me
good
feel
point.
much better. Tanks all day. GG.
Right. What do you think they could have picked top lane? Like I keep ragging on this Akali, and I really apologize, but I feel like a more conventional top lane would have been a little bit more feasible.
I
to
would
at
have
least
loved to have seen
compound
something
the
maybe
threat.
like an Ornn to be able to just hyper carry, but also be able to frontline just a bit further.
I would like to see the Shen. Just, again,
Shen-
doubling
Shen's
down
fantastic.
on this Aphelios hyper carry here. Now, this is going into the game knowing the Aphelios was ahead. So this is, you know, hindsight 2020 of knowing that the Aphelios is going to pop off. But if you are
Right.
going to go for this,
I tell you what, Shen would have been a good shout because that would have neutralized the Hecarim E as part of his engage, right?
true. But
Now
I
that
think
now
with that,
that the game's been discussed,
yes,
Right.
I want to ask Pickens, when's the next match and what are we doing?
the next match is going to be in 5 minutes. I'm going to do another ad run, so that ad run that just happened doesn't happen. And then we're going to do the On Jah versus Underworld Chaos games.
All right.
Whoever wants, during the break, I will talk to casters and see who wants to do it. But we will be back in around 5 minutes. I hate name picking, or known as picking. If you guys want
I
to
have
also,
been-
yeah.
I have been Leon.
And I'm Asp.
Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back in 5-ish minutes as I go to OBS and stop streaming.